Hi Dom, this week's review is A Walk to Remember by Nicholas Sparks, which is my punishment book for not posting my review on time. This is an interesting review because if anybody's had any interaction with A Walk to Remember, it's been through the movie and not through the actual book. And there are a lot of similarities between them, but they changed a lot. So a lot of people are at least sort of familiar with the story behind A Walk to Remember. It's fairly simple. This boy, Landon Carter, falls in love with this girl, Jamie Sullivan, who is the minister's daughter. And then it turns out that she has cancer, and then she dies, and it's all really sad. I find it interesting that this book happened to come almost directly after A Prayer for Owen Meany, because in many ways it's sort of the A Prayer for Owen Meany, where A Prayer for Owen Meany had religious debate and actual contemplation of the will of God versus free will versus the nature of good and evil. A Walk to Remember is slightly more simple than that. I mean, the plot can be summed up in a sentence, and it's not even that long of a book. What can I say about it? It was given to me as a punishment book for a reason. It's not good. There's no actual depth to it. Jamie is this miracle from God, and she makes Landon a better person, and then she dies. It's very straightforward and boring. None of the characters are really given any depth whatsoever. I mean, Jamie is clearly a purity Sue. Langdon is Landon. He serves as exposition for Jamie, really. He tells us about her past. He tells us, what people think of her. He tells us that, she has cancer and that she's dying, and it's all terribly tragic, and she was taken before she should have been. It's all very sad, but it doesn't make for an entertaining book. The writing style was very, very informal, and it just kind of felt like you were having a really long, boring conversation with this guy who wanted to tell you about his dead girlfriend, and you just kind of weren't interested. A lot of the time he's like, oh, and I forgot to mention this happened. Why? Why would you not give us the whole story up front? It's silly. I mean, if you were doing it on purpose, I guess, like if you were trying to be an unreliable narrator, then it would work, but you're not being an unreliable narrator, you're just being a bad one. And at some points he'll be like, I hope you know what I'm talking about here, and it's like, no, describe it to us, that's your job as a narrator. It doesn't make any sense. We're not having a conversation with you, we can't respond to you. It's all written very informally, and it's kind of annoying like that. It's almost like, Nicholas Sparks is a bad writer or something. It felt like Jamie was being a martyr or something. Just way too much of a Christ-like character for me to take this book seriously. She has nothing wrong with her. That doesn't make a good character. It didn't make me really feel even that sad when she died. She doesn't have any sort of interesting qualities. She's just really nice. She wants to make sure that her dad's happy, and she wants to make sure that everybody's happy, and why do characters in books always have to be better people than I am? I want to read about somebody who's has some flaws, has some character development to go through. Even Landon didn't really have that much of a character development. At least in the movie, he started off as this asshole, became a nice person. In the book, him being an asshole means that he stays out late with his friends because, the book's set during the 50s or whatever. There's no character development on anybody's side at all. I mean, Landon falls in love with Jamie, and then she's perfect the entire book until she dies. Even after that, he says that he's still in love with her because she's amazing and blah blah blah, and it's just like, dude, this book makes me angry. With A Prayer for Owen Meany, even though I didn't really like the subject matter a lot of the time, I didn't find it that interesting, at least it was done well. There was some real debate on what exactly does it mean if somebody saves you, if somebody is a miracle, if somebody has to die in order to help other people become better people. What exactly does that mean? And is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? But in A Walk to Remember, it's different. There's no deconstruction. There's no actual deep understanding of what that would mean for that person. Jamie is just this miracle that happens, and then she's gone, and then everybody's a better person because of it, and it's sad, the end. It doesn't go any deeper than that, and I really dislike that. It's just laying everything out on the table with no sort of symbolism, and it's really, really boring as a result. So altogether, I would say that A Prayer for Owen Meany is an example of how to have religious discussion in a novel without being annoying, and A Walk to Remember is an example of how to have religious discussion in a novel while being very annoying and boring. All in all, I would give it like half a Bible out of 5 Bibles. Dom, I look forward to your next review, which will probably be on a book that you decide to do a review on about 6 o'clock on Thursday night. And remember, if Jamie doesn't put her hair down, Lynn finds her less attractive, so it must be true love. And of course, there's that implication that if you are unpopular and that the popular kids make fun of you and don't like you, that it's okay. Just be as nice as you can and never talk back to them, never talk back to anybody who gives you any shit. And eventually, one of the popular kids will fall in love with you and you'll live happily ever after and get married until you die of cancer.